Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about how to hit your goals for 2026 by basically brainwashing yourself for success. And we're going to do it by breaking down one single, really powerful story.
So let's just kick things off with a super important question. What is the number one thing, the real roadblock, that's stopping you from getting what you want?
You know, the answer is almost always shockingly simple. It's not about money or skills or luck. Nope. It's that voice inside your own head.
To really get a handle on just how powerful this inner voice is, let's dive into this great little fable about a young guy named Arjun and a mysterious voice he finds in a cave.
Now this guy Arjun, he wasn't the strongest or the fastest person out there, but he had this core belief that was his superpower. He truly believed his thoughts created his world. And this mindset was so powerful that even the wild animals in the jungle totally trusted him. They considered him a friend.
But then one day, his whole peaceful vibe gets completely flipped upside down. He's walking up to this cave he uses all the time, for shelter, and suddenly this deep, booming, terrifying voice echoes out from the darkness.
And just like that, bam! That one sentence completely shatters his focus. His disciplined, positive mind just gets flooded with one single thought: pure, paralyzing fear.
And this right here is a perfect example of how our thoughts aren't just thoughts, right? They become physical. Instantly, his heart is hammering. He breaks into a cold sweat. His stomach is in knots, and he's so weak he can't even move. The fear wasn't just in his head anymore. It had taken over his entire body.
Okay, so right then, a wolf, who's actually a buddy of Arjun's, sees him freaking out and decides to check it out. It just confidently walks right up to the cave, ready to take on whatever's inside.
But the second the voice puts the spotlight on the wolf, all that bravery just evaporates. A single thought, the idea of becoming lunch, was all it took for the wolf to decide, you know what, Arjun's on his own.
So the wolf, not wanting to look like a total coward, runs off to get the big guns, the lion. We're talking the king of the jungle, a legend who had literally never lost a single fight, ever.
But the voice? It wasn't scared at all. It was smart. It didn't threaten the lion's strength. It went right for its ego. And for the very first time, the lion was frozen by a single thought. What if I lose my perfect record? The fear of failure was suddenly more terrifying than any animal he'd ever fought.
The lion, totally rattled, retreats and comes back with the real powerhouses, a massive elephant and a super strong rhino. I mean, come on, surely they can handle this.
But again, the voice knew exactly which button to push. This threat wasn't just a threat. It triggered a horrifying image in their minds, a memory of being hunted by humans with weapons. And that one single negative vision created by their own thoughts was enough. They backed away in total terror.
So let's get this straight. The strongest, the bravest, the king of the jungle, all taken down by nothing more than a sound. And that's when our hero shows up, and it's not who you'd expect at all.
Meanwhile, you've got this tiny little frog just chilling on a leaf, watching this whole drama unfold. And he's just not buying it. He isn't scared one bit. He just calmly hops right over to the cave entrance. The frog doesn't roar. It doesn't make threats. It just very calmly asks the creature to show itself. And what walks out of that cave? Well, nobody saw this coming.
The thing making all that noise, the monster that defeated a lion, an elephant, and a rhino, was just a tiny, scared mouse. Its little squeaks were just being amplified by the cave, turning them into a monstrous roar. The monster was never, ever real.
So this isn't just a cute story, right? It's basically a perfect instruction manual for our own minds, and it's packed with 7 huge lessons about how our thoughts literally create our reality.
Okay, let's break this down, because this is where the magic happens. First up, our thoughts control our character. Arjun's whole vibe was positive, and that's why he was a friend of the jungle. Second, they control our health. Arjun's one fearful thought immediately triggered a physical stress response. Third, our purpose. The wolf wasn't fully committed, so one scary thought was enough to make him bail. Fourth, achievement. The lion was unbeatable, but the idea of failing stopped him in his tracks. Fifth is vision. The elephant and rhino didn't just hear a voice. Their minds created a terrifying vision of a past trauma. Sixth, they define how we see our circumstances. And finally, our thoughts control our serenity. The frog wasn't blinded by fear or ego, so it could see things for what they really were.
So here's the key takeaway, the big metaphor for your own life. The cave, that's any goal or challenge you're facing. That terrifying voice, that's just your own negative self-talk, your doubts, your fears. And the mouse, well, that's the actual problem, which is almost always way, way smaller than the monster you've built up in your head.
And all of this brings us right back to you, right here, right now, as you're looking at what you want to accomplish in 2026. What's the voice that's echoing out of your cave?
You know these voices, right? That little whisper that says, you can't start that business, or you don't have enough money, or you're just gonna fail if you try. Or my personal favorite, it's just way too risky. And this, right here, is the most important truth of the entire explainer. These voices are just thoughts. They are echoes in a cave. They are not reality. And just like that little frog, you have the power to walk up and challenge them.
So as we wrap this up, I'm going to leave you with this one question. Think about the biggest, scariest challenge in your life right now and ask yourself this. What tiny little mouse is my mind blowing up into a terrifying monster? Because finding that answer, that might just be the thing that sets you free.